Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to read Tippy-Tippy-Tippy Hide. Winter was coming and Mr. McGreely was getting ready. Down went his hammock, up went his storm windows. Out went his snow shovels, in went his garden hose. Mr. McGreely flopped into his easy chair, flipped up his footrest, and opened a book. Ah, he sighed. Time to snuggle in for the winter, but tippy-tippy-pat, knock-a-knock-a-knock-a. Oh, no, said Mr. McGreely when he saw three little bunnies begging on his doorsteps. I shared my carrots with you, but I'm not sharing my house. Now hop off, shoo, sham, bam! He slammed the door. That night, a chill wind blew. Then, tippy-tippy-tippy, wiggle through the mail slot, tippy-jingle, three little bunnies cozy inside. Now, tippy-tippy-tippy, hide! The next morning, Mr. McGreely reached for a banana, but all he found was tail fluff. Some bunnies been in my fruit, he cried. He searched high and he searched low, but the bunnies were nowhere to be found. Those pesky pufftails, fumed Mr. McGreely. They got in one time, but they won't get in twice. And tap, tap, he nailed the mail slot shut. That night, an icy rain prickled down, then tippy-tippy jump, down the chimney, tippy bump. Three little bunnies cozy inside. Now tippy-tippy-tippy hide. The next morning, Mr. McGreely flopped into his easy chair. But instead of a fluffy pillow, all he found was sooty paw prints. Some bunnies been in my chair, he hollered. He searched here and there, high and low, but the bunnies were nowhere to be found. Those naughty wiggle noses, seized Mr. McGreely. They got in two times, but they won't get in three. And he shoved and he stuffed and he huffed and he plugged the chimney up. That night a thick snow fell. Then tippy-tippy-tippy dangle through the window, tippy-tangle. Three little bunnies cozy inside. Now tippy-tippy-tippy hide. The next morning, Mr. McGreely pulled back his shower curtain, but instead of shampoos, he found snow smudges. Somebody's been in my tub, he hollered. He searched above and below, here and there, high and low, but the bunnies were nowhere to be found. Those infuriating flop ears, flared Mr. McGreely. They got in three times, but they will not get in four. And he hammered and he bammed, he smacked and he slammed, and he boarded up all the windows. That night, the wind howled and the temperatures dropped down, down, down. Then, tippy-tippy-tippy, heap, turn the doorknob, tippy creep, three little bunnies cozy inside. Now, tippy-tippy-tippy, hide. The next morning, Mr. McGreely opened his eyes. But instead of his teddy bear next to him, all he found was bunny poop. Somebody's been in my bed, he yelled. So he searched over and under and above and below, here and there, high and low. But the bunnies were nowhere to be found. Blast those Willie Twitch Whiskers raised, Mr. McGreely. I'll show them. They got in four times, but absolutely, positively, they will not get in five. And he mixed and he slapped and he smeared and he stacked. He bricked in both his doors. Only Super Bunny could get through that, declared Mr. McGreely. Then, tired but triumphed, he flopped into his easy chair, flipped up his footrest, and opened his book. Ah, he sighed, no more bunnies. And he snuggled in to wait the winter out. At last, one morning, Mr. McGreely sniffed the air and declared, spring has sprung. So he closed his book, he climbed out his easy chair, and peeked between the cracks of his boarded-up windows. He saw tiny new leaves, tender sprouts, fresh green shoots, and bunnies! Mr. McGreely pushed and rammed and pounded and banged, pulled and kicked, shook and slammed, but he couldn't get out of his own house. Tippy-Tippy-Tippy, smash! Muncha, muncha, muncha. Tippy-Tippy, hide.